Hello. Okay. Hello. Hello. Okay, perfect. Uh, okay, let's see. I'm live. Hello. 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 Can you hear me? Okay, very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Zurich. Local time is 1938. That's 1838 Zulu time. As you can see, the weather is not so good. It is very foggy in Zurich. Low visibility procedures are going to be in place for sure. So as we jump into, no, it's more than 10 seconds, Favoloso. I just saw your message now. Let's see if you ever hear this. So jumping into the cockpit of the plane. Welcome on board a 737-800. Let's start by turning on the batteries. Uncome the batteries. Now, we don't want to empty the batteries, so we need an external source. So we've just connected a little ground power unit, which you can see here. So now we can turn that on. There we go. Now the battery is on. Now, another thing we're going to want to do is turn on the electric pumps. This way, as the pilot monitoring, which is going to be in today, it's going to be the co-pilot. So this way my co-pilot can go and do the walk around, have a look around the plane, check if everything is looking good, and if there are any leaks, then if those electric pumps are causing any leaks, then he'll be able to see them. That's why we turn them on straight away. And now we want to turn on the position lights, which are these lights here at the back, green on the right, and red on the left. And since there's low procedures, let's turn on the logo light as well, which will just illustrate this. You'll see our beautiful Alpaca Airways livery. That's the livery of the YouTuber I like watching. Here you can see all of the other players that are live with me. There's quite a lot of us tonight as there's an event going on. So now that all of the lights are on, we can start making the first few checks in the cockpit. So first of all, we want to check the landing gear is down and indicating 3 green as the flaps are retracted, and that is looking good. Now we want to check if there's an alarm when we push the thrust. Yep, that's the takeoff config light, that's looking good. The speed brakes, they are stowed and the flaps are retracted, so that's good. Moving our way down here, we want to check the fire tests. So left, we see there's a fault here, and the in-op button coming up here. To the other side, the alarm. Whoa! Master caution, as expected. We want to do the same thing for the APU. That is working. 3 greens, that's good. Cargo fire test. Same alarm. Okay, looking good. Whoops. Let's put some light. There we go. Check this is free and moving. Yep, that is working as well. Cool. Moving up. Moving to the left, here there'd be the aircraft documentation, so the pilots would check all of the documentation about the aircraft to know if the insurance is valid, if the maintenance is valid, basically if the plane is legal. Here we want to check all of the fuses, that nothing has jumped. None of them have jumped, that's all looking good. As we move our way up here, we want to turn the IRS systems to nav. That is basically going to help the navigation systems align and get ready for flight. And turn this here. I have no idea why. The interphone, we can turn it on. We can put a bit of light in the cockpit. Flight recorder, voice recorder, we want to turn that on. And the overspeeding warnings, they are working. Still warning tests, we can check them as well, but it hasn't, well, we're going to have to wait a few more minutes for those to work. Okay. So now that we've done all of this, the first thing we want to do is check how much fuel we need for today. So here's our flight plan. This says for the trip we need 1.6 tons of fuel. It's super short today, only 36 minutes of flying. In case we have to do a go around, we've added 15 minutes of fuel, 600 kilos. In case we can't land in Innsbruck, we've got alternate planned. We're going to need 1,500 kilos to join it, and then an extra 30 minutes above that just to be safe. So we need 4.8 thousand liters of fuel, and if you add the taxiing time, that means we need 5.081 tons of fuel. So let's call that 5.1. Fuel, 5.1 tons. Call the fuel truck. As you can see, they're now fueling up the aircraft. Now, let's add the passengers as well. So today we have 173 passengers. So let's add them, 173 passengers. There we go, that is 15 tons of payload. So we have a zero fuel weight of 58,162. Let's check that with our flight plan, zero fuel weight 58,162. So perfect. Our weight without any fuels but with passenger is correct. We've added ever so slightly more fuel. We've done 5.1 instead of, so we've only got 20 extra kilos of fuel, so that is basically no difference whatsoever. Cool. So now that we've done this, we can check these warnings. Yes, they work. So those are the warnings in case the plane's going too slowly, and these are the warnings in case we're going too fast. The emergency lights, we can put them on, and as soon as we have finished fueling, we can bring on board the pilots, the passengers. Message from Enrico. Oh wow, that seems amazing. Okay, oh wow, that seems amazing. So now let's check the ATIS, so that is the weather report in Zurich, and its channel is 125725. 125725, now let's listen on to this.
028, no significant change. Advise on initial contact. You have information Delta. Report aircraft type on initial contact with Zurich arrival.
Okay, so now that it's ended, let's take
This is Zurich information Delta. At 1820 arrivals, expect ILS approach runway 14. Transition level 70 low. Visibility procedures in operation. Departure runway 28. Wind comp. Visibility 250 meters, runway visual range runway 14600 meters, neutral runway 16650 meters, downgrading runway 28700 meters, neutral runway 34650 meters, neutral fog vertical. Visibility 200 feet. Temperature 6. Dew point 6 QNH 1028. No significant change. Advise on initial contact. You have information Delta. Report aircraft type on initial contact with Zurich arrival.
Okay, so he said a few things here. The important things to note is that he said that it's information Delta. That's just the code of that registration. It was taken at 1820 Zulu, so that was about half an hour ago. So it is definitely updated. Here this is showing 0642 because I didn't want to do a flight, night flight, so I put it back 12 hours. So put this in back 12 hours so that we could have a sunrise instead of a sunset. So that would be a bit nicer. The important thing is that told us we're taking off on runway 28, so the transition 11 is 70, that low visibility procedures are in place. Then he talked a huge amount of how much visibility there was at the airport, but for us departing, it's not that important. It would be more interesting to listen to that if we were landing into Zurich. The temperature is 6 degrees, that's important for engine settings, and the local QNH is 1028, and that is the local pressure, and that's very important to see, to check the altitude. You see as I change the pressure, it changes the altitude, so that's why it's important to have that correct. So 1028, and we're going to set this setting to 1000 feet above. Oops. We're going to set our setting to 1000 feet above. That is when we're going to be able to start retracting the flaps that are on the wing. So that is now set. So as we've set all of that, we can now come into the computer, the FMC. This is the airport we're at, Zurich. We're currently on the stand Alpha 08 and the position, and this is where we are. So we're going from Zurich, we're going to Innsbruck in Austria, which is called LOWI. Today our flight, we are French Post 27 Mike November. And now let's insert the route we are taking. So the route, we're going to Deges, Zulu, then Zulu 2 to Ozdov. Sorry, this part is slightly boring, but this is basically inserting our route into the GPS. Mike 738 to Madeb, November 606, Elmen, whoops, November 606 to Elmem. Elmem. There we go. And then it's directing to LOWI. So the departure, we have runway 28 as our departure runway. That's different to what we have in the flight plan. In the flight plan it says 34, but it's still supposed to be a Deges departure, so it's probably going to be this one. So we'll just take note of that. We're going to Innsbruck, and we're expecting the Deges 2 Whiskey departure from runway 28. I just have to take note of that. There we go. And for the arrival, it is so going to be something starting with Elmen, but there is none. So I'll see that once I'm in flight. So let's activate that straight away. Actually, let's just select a landing runway 026 and check that I notice there is a discontinuity. There we go. So now we have the route planned out. Okay, so this is our gross weight, this is our zero fuel weight, our reserves, this is our reserves. So the reserves are the amount of fuel we have to go to another destination and the 30 minutes just in case above that. So that is 2.4, 2.5, that's going to be 2.5 tons of reserves. Cost index, that's a number that goes from 0 to 100. 0 is fuel saving and 100 is speed. So 36 is somewhere in between the two. The flight level planned today is flight level 210, so that is 21,000 feet in other words. It's not exactly the same thing, but it's very similar. Let's put 21,000 feet here. This is for the pressurization of the aircraft. Let's just check the altitude where we're landing. We're landing at LOWI, where the altitude is 1,900 feet. So let's insert that there. Cool. The average wind is going to be 201. That is basically northwest direction at 20 knots of wind. The ISA deviation, that's +2. The ISA is 15 degrees, that is the international standard temperature, 15 degrees. And so the average is going to be +2 degrees, so 17 degrees. And the transition level, we heard it on the ATIS, it's 7,000, that is correctly inserted. So let's execute that, and since we've finished fueling, we can invite the passengers to join us on board. So there we go, that is coming up. Now before we get any further, let's get in touch with ATC to see what our departure is. So it is 121.925. So that is 121. Sorry, here 121.925. Okay, no one else is speaking, so I think that means I can go. I just want to check something first. Alpha 0, yeah. One last thing as well.
Guys, the wheels on board.
Zurich delivery, very good evening, French Post 27 Mike November, we're on stand Alpha 08, information Delta and QNH 1028, we're Boeing 737-800, requesting departure clearance to Innsbruck, please.
Runway 28, take us to Whiskey departure, initial plan is 5,000 feet, squawk 1,000.
We're cleared to Innsbruck via the DGS-2 Whiskey departure from runway 28, initial climb 5,000 feet, QNH and squawking 1,000, French Post 27 Mike November.
French Post 27 Mike November, read back is correct, report ready for starter and pushback, and low visibility, cut to procedure in progress.
Report ready for push and start and low visibility in process. French Post 27 Mike November, thank you. Okay, I'm sorry about that. The volume was turned completely down for God knows what, and I managed to guess my way around that, so that was pretty lucky. This microphone is too loud, so let's lower that. Okay, I have no idea why this happened. Anyway, so he confirmed our departure. So that means that he confirmed our departure was DGS-2 Whiskey from runway 28. So now I just have to do something on my phone, which is actually what the pilots do. Pilots have a iPad in which they do this. So this is calculating the takeoff performance, seeing how much throttle we need for departure. So the wind is no wind. The temperature is 6, the QNH is 1028. Let's try minimum thrust settings.
7557, contact 0811 to 1.750 Schönhausen.
So, based on what I've just done on the app, I can insert the temperature, I can choose takeoff to setting, press this
Oracle
button here,
154,
and you
2
can
by
see
5
that
now.
instead of 97, 88, 98% of throttle, we can only use 91.6% of throttle. We're going to be taking flaps 5 for takeoff, and the trim stab is 625. In real life, this far you have to calculate it manually using it's a bit complicated, and in the game they've just made it simpler. They also it does it for you. The V speeds, they are 136, 137 and 142. Whoa, that is almost identical.
Yeah, Oracle 154, radio 2 by 5, it should be better or...
That is almost identical to what I have in the app. V1 is the speed at which we will no longer abandon the takeoff, so that means that once I've reached 136 knots, we will not abandon the takeoff, whatever happens. Even if we catch fire, we're taking off. VR is the speed at which we want to rotate, so the speed at which we want to take off. So you can see it's almost the same thing. And V2 is the speed at which we want to climb in case we have one engine failing.
And request IFR clearance.
Cool. So now let's review our departure procedure. Let's just start turning on a few things. So let's turn on the fuel pumps. The APU, that is the third engine.
Low visibility procedure category.
Window
2
heat.
in progress, information delta correct.
We can turn. The temperature inside the cabin is 8 degrees, so I should have turned on the air conditioning before inviting everyone on board, because we are freezing cold in this plane, so we should have done something about that.
Greenland 56,
So as I'm getting ready, now let me show you what's going on here.
Initial climb 5,000 feet and squawks 1,000.
So we are parked here on Alpha 2 on
Alpha 6. The
Alpha
feedback is
08,
correct.
so we're going to be pushing back onto November, so we want to come backwards
Your
onto
flight level
November,
needs to be
and
up.
that means that we're going to be
So
pushing back
would
to
you
face
like
north.
150 or 170?
We want to be turning to the north. You can see here, this means, we are facing north now, so when we turn it's going to be facing west. We're going to be facing west.
Your new flight level is
Now
150
let's check
and low
the
visibility
airport.
procedure category 2 in
We're taking off from runway 28 today, so we're taking off from this runway
Yes,
here,
copy
and
that,
we are
low
here.
visibility
So we're going to have to taxi probably around Echo and Alpha to
I
Alpha
will
1.
have to look up what that is, but I remember.
Alpha,
Greenland
1.
56. Yeah. For the departure, it's
Sorry,
the
Echo.
important thing that you stop at the correct stop bar.
Echo, Alpha and Alpha 1. And then the
Thanks for
departure,
the-
we said
alright.
that the departure is going to be
Very
the
good.
Degas
Report ready
2
for
Whiskey. So from runway 28, so it's going to be this. No, that's this. What?
Delivery, good evening. This is Lufthansa 7. We have information Delta.
Ah, yes.
Boeing
So
7,
Whiskey,
7.
this is the departure.
Requesting clearance.
Okay. So we
Lufthansa
need,
742,
it's
delivery
based off
accuracy.
this
Information
radio,
Delta correct. Low
114.85,
Progress. You're clear to destination. Unique
and
runway
we're going to be
28
taking
Whiskey departure.
2.3,
5,000.
253. This is a bit
We are
complicated.
clear to Munich. Low visibility procedures. And
That's 210 knots, and then we turn back in radio 232. 232 minus 180, that is 32.52.
Lufthansa 742, your feedback is correct.
52.
Report ready for start push. Report ready for start push. Lufthansa 742.
Indicating. So we're going to take off on runway 28. At 2.3 kilo, we're going to start making a left turn to intercept this radio, this radio 253. Then we're going to turn around backwards and go back over the airport to Kilo. Now let's check that this is what this says. So we're going from
Echo information
02,
Delta
it's going to be
current,
this point.
slow visibility
Then it's
procedure
going to be this point,
in
552.
operation. You're clear to destination Edinburgh on the 28
Turn
Levy
around
Whiskey departure
onto
climb
Kilo.
5,000 feet. squawk 6721.
respecting the speed restriction of 210 or above, and then
Otherwise,
normal,
310 Echo
which
clear
is going to be our
Edinburgh
first.
Remit, Whiskey departure on 28, initial climb is 5000, squawk 6721 and LVP2 in
Normal, Kolul.
Advice 310 Echo, VTAG is correct,
So
Echo and
continue.
full stop. Okay, we'll go in
Never
for
seen this.
taxi, it's going to be a taxi out.
Yes, and then, yes. So after we come
310
back,
Echo,
over
yeah,
Kilo,
sorry, talk
we
ready
go to
for
Momo, and then we go
Quick
to
start up to Echo, thank you.
Kolul. That one isn't indicated. Yes, because it's not part of it. Momul, Kolul. 504, 525, and Degas. Okay. Okay, that's a bit complicated, but it will work out. So, I think we're ready to go. Okay.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
So we want to... Oh, there's another plane there. Okay, so you might have to wait a little bit.
Ground to cockpit.
768, he's
Toes driving up.
Let's just tell him anyway that we want to move. We're still on delivery, so let's ask him. And delivery, French Post 27, Mike November, requesting push and start.
French Post 27 Mike November, please, at squawk 1000.
My apologies, squawking 1000, French Post 27, Mike November.
French Post 27 Mike November, no problem. Contact Zurich Apron 121.750, choose.
Contact Zurich Apron 121.750, thank you. Choose French Post 27, Mike November. Okay, that reminds me, N1 limit takeoff 144, so we want to set 144 here.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect. Set parking brake.
Air Child 7557 is ready for taxi.
Runway 28.
Air Child 7557, taxi holding point Bravo 1, runway 28, category 2 and 3 via Charlie, Hotel and Bravo.
It's the initial heading.
Taxi to holding point runway 28, category 3 via Charlie, Hotel and Bravo, Air Child 7557.
So before takeoff start, the yaw damper, it is on. The fuel, we needed, how much fuel did we need? We needed 5.1 tons of fuel.
Now connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
090 at the gate, taxi observed, not even launching out. 3090, thanks for flying to study, good night.
Pressurization, we have set it 1 and 2. The MCP V2.
Dewey Jet 78 is ready for taxi.
That's loud. That is so loud.
3768, taxi holding point Alpha 2, runway 28, category 2 and 3 via November,
And the takeoff
Foxtrot and
speeds,
Alpha.
V1, V2, VR, V2, those are
We are
set.
Foxtrot Alpha
Taxi
2,
individual, so
Alpha
we're
2,
going
category
to
2,
taxi
Chevrolet,
onto
good
runway
correction.
facing
Dewey
west,
Jet
then we're going
73.
to taxi Echo and Alpha to runway 28, and then from runway 28, we're going to be following the departure that I showed. The auto brakes, they are on RTO, the APU bleed has to come on, the tug is connected, the flight deck door is not closed, let's close that now, there we go. The aircraft door, that has been closed, let's welcome the passengers on board.
Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. On behalf of all the crew, welcome on board this flight. We expect to be departing on schedule today, and weather en route is looking pretty smooth. Shortly, the cabin crew will be showing you a safety demonstration. This is for your safety and for those around you, so please give them your full attention. Once again, you're very welcome on board.
I think the computer's really struggling having the stream going on. The wing and tail lights, they are as required for now. The anti-collision light first, we're going to request push and start. So that goes. Let's turn up the volume. Zurich Apron, very good evening. Fortune Abbott, French Post 37, Mike November, stand Alpha 08, requesting push and start.
French Post 27 Mike November, Zurich Apron, good evening, push and start approved.
Push and start approved, French Post 27 Mike November. So he approved our push and start, so let's turn on
Zurich Grand, Papa Fox Uniform November,
the
good.
anti-collision lights, so these white ones.
Hotel Fox 27 November, Zurich Apron, Great Lakes, taxi via Hotel and Gillette, hold short of runway 28, any requested stand?
Brakes.
I'm going to general aviation, Uniform November.
Starting pushback, and
Stop
you may
line
start
from
the
November,
engine.
would you prefer stand Foxtrot 70 or Foxtrot 72?
70 is fine, Uniform November.
Roger, expect Foxtrot 70.
70, Uniform November.
Ladies and gentlemen, on this type of aircraft, you'll find your life jackets in the panel just above your head.
So let's start the engines, turn this to the left.
Lufthansa 742, Zurich Apron, good evening, hold position, traffic pushing back on your left side, brake air chart 7557, contact our frequency 118.1, bye bye.
Contact tower 118.1, the chart 7557, thank you. And we hold position, Lufthansa 742.
Thank you.
25%, let's put in the fuel.
Apron, Papa Uniform November, we want me to go via Hotel and Kilo, is that correct? And hold short at 28.
Papa Uniform November, continue taxi via Hotel and Juliet, hold short of runway 28.
Hotel and Juliet and 28, Uniform November.
Okay, that was engine number 1, that is started, so let's start engine number 2, here it comes. Right, guys, I need more wine. Let's just wait a little bit. Again, 25%, we're going to introduce the fuel.
Jet 768, contact our frequency 118.1, have a nice flight, bye.
Over to the tower 118.1, 2 Jet 78, bye bye.
0K Pro, good evening, Idlewise 310 Echo, start Delta 2 information, Delta request startup.
54%.
Airline 310 Echo, Zurich Apron, good evening. It is Delta correct, startup is approved.
Start approved, Idlewise 310 Echo.
Right, so that was the second engine started, so now the engine's going to provide the electricity, and done. We can shut off the third engine that was providing the electricity and start the air conditioning.
Finally,
because it's still only 8 degrees. Now we can turn on the probe heat, so this heats up all of the sensors.
Air Canada 822, Zurich Apron, good evening, taxi to stand Echo 42 via Hotel Juliet and Charlie.
Turn on the flight
Operation complete. Please set parking brake.
Hotel Juliet Charlie, Echo 822.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Now we want to set the flaps. So there we go, flaps set. They're coming down.
Flight, may we have your attention while we point out some of the safety features on this Boeing 737-800
And Papa Uniform November, Juliet was the other direction, confirm where are you going?
Yeah, sorry, Navigraph seems to think it connects very slowly. Now I have to disconnect because my Navigraph doesn't seem to work properly. So taxi will be very difficult without any visibility.
Roger, Papa Uniform November, no problem. See you soon, frequency change approved.
Thanks very much for the service, and have a great foggy evening. Thank you.
Did you hear them? Have a
Thank
great
you.
evening. Right, so I need this one.
Zurich ground, Calum 270, request push and start, standing on the gate, Bravo 45, Calum 270.
Tow is disconnected and 5% has been removed. And signal on the right. I'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Position number 2,
I'm sorry, it's
Calum 270.
so the generators are on, probe heats are on, anti-ice required, isolation valve are on, NTAC 6 set, engines 6 required 6 set, start levers they are on idle, lower DU we can blank this.
Hideaway 310 Echo, request taxi.
Flight control checked, request taxi.
Airwise 310 Echo, clean by brake. Actually, disregard Airwise 310 Echo, taxi holding point Alpha 2, runway 28 via Echo and Alpha.
Okay, I'm going to get the same
Code
thing
by
as
for 2 runway 28 by Echo and Alpha, Airwise 310 Echo.
and apron French Post 27 Mike November, ready for taxi.
French Post 27 Mike November, taxi holding point Alpha 2, runway 28, category 23 via November Foxtrot Inner and Alpha.
Taxi holding point Alpha 2 for runway 28 via November Foxtrot and inner Alpha Fox French Post 27 Mike November. Oh, that was terrible. What the fuck did he give me? November Foxtrot? What the fuck did he give me? Anyway, taxi lights are on. On. Release parking brakes. Now we want to test the throttles as we did before, but this time there is no alarm, so we're good to take off. Now I have to understand what he told me to do. Ah, he said November 8, he said Foxtrot, inner, Alpha, Alpha 2.
Lufthansa 742, pushback and start up is approved.
We're on November and he says take Foxtrot, so we're taking this right hand turn here. Ooh, okay, I panicked there for a second, because that was not what I was expecting him to say to me. Right, thrust 25%. Okay. Oh my god, we can't see shit.
Apron, hello, Swiss 193 Heavy, stand Alpha 53, ready for pushback.
Swiss 193 Heavy, Zurich Apron, good evening. Please hold position, push and start will be in 1 minute.
So we're supposed to take the next
Hold
right.
position, Swiss 193.
So could it be this one? There's the terminal. So this should say inner.
Last station calling, it is 2 by 5.
Perfect, so inner, we can go.
Zurich Apron, good evening, Greenland 56, ready for push and start.
Greenland.
Greenland 56, Zurich Apron, good evening. Hold position, pushback and start up in 30 seconds.
You could see the steering wheel turning there.
Pushback and start
Cool, eh?
in 30 seconds, Greenland 56.
Whoa, oops, oops. Let's not get into those other planes there to our right. All of those other planes, they're all players as well. You can see they've got the, and there's the little tag there. That means they're other players like me. So inner. One 216 is probably going to be the next frequency. We're not going to...
Last station calling, I can hear what you are saying, but it is not very good. So that's like 3 by 5.
Do you prefer voice or text?
That was unreadable.
Hotel 88, Hotel 88, Hotel 87, Hotel 87.
Space 193, push and start approved, facing east.
Push and start approved, facing east, Swiss 193, thank you.
Greenland 56, push and start approved, facing east.
Push and start approved, facing east, Greenland 56.
Lufthansa 742, ready for taxi.
Lufthansa 742, taxi holding point Alpha 2, runway 28, category 2 and 3, via November Foxtrot and Alpha.
I have no idea what he means when he says category 2 and
Taxi
3.
to holding point
I think
Alpha
I need to study
for
something.
runway 28, yeah, November Foxtrot Alpha, Lufthansa 742.
French Post 27 Mike November, hold short of taxiway Alpha.
Hold short taxiway Alpha, French Post 27 Mike November. So that means here.
Zurich Apron, good Nordic, Hotel
Yeah,
Bravo
that's
Charlie,
right.
November Alpha, request
That's why
start
he's telling me to hold short, there's a plane coming.
Hotel Bravo Charlie November Alpha, Zurich Apron, good dynamic, startup is approved.
There we go.
Start approved, Hotel November Alpha.
French Post 27 Mike November, continue taxi, contact tower frequency 118.1, bye bye.
Continue taxi, contact tower 128.1, thank you, bye bye, French Post 27 Mike November.
French Post 27 Mike November, negative, frequency 118.1.
Sorry about that. 118.1, French post 27, Mike November, choose.
LY's 310 Echo, contact our frequency 118.1, bye bye.
118.1, LY's 310 Echo, bye bye.
KLM 270, push and start approved.
Push and start approved, KLM 2.
Let's wait for him. So he told me to contact the tower, but that guy's in front of me, so I'm going to wait for him.
Tower, good evening, otherwise 310 Echo, holding short Alpha 2, runway 28. Budget 768, contact departure 118.0. Are they?
118.0.
Departure 118.0 to Regent 78, bye bye.
Advice 310 Echo, hello, line up, wait, runway 28. Line up on wait, runway 28, otherwise 310 Echo.
And tower, good evening, French post 27, Mike November, holding short Alpha 2 for runway 28. There we go. My turn as well, straight behind him.
French post 27, Mike November, hello, hold Alpha 2.
Holding Alpha 2, French post 27, Mike November. Okay. So he's just been told to go onto the runway. And I have been told to wait at Alpha 2, which is here. So pretty much where he is. So now let's grab the chart for our departure. Degas. Okay. So remember, we want to fly here, 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 here. But I'm going to cheat, and I'm just going to be using the GPS. Okay, so after him, I should be next.
Easy 627, wind calm, runway 14, clear to land. Clear to land, runway 14, 627. Airbus 868, welcome to Zurich, contact apron 121.750, bye-bye.
121.750, Star is 868.
Louis 310 Echo, wind calm, runway 28, clear for takeoff.
Ah, so he's just been
Club takeoff on 28, otherwise 310 Echo.
So he can take off.
French post 27, Mike November behind departing Edelweiss A320, line up wait, runway 28 behind.
Line up and wait behind the departing aircraft, French post 27, Mike November. There we go. So that's me, I can line up as well. He should take off, there we go, he's moving. So let's turn on all of the lights, off the taxi lights because I haven't been cleared to take off, strobe lights. Those are the flashing lights that are now turning on. TARA, weather radar, and GPS. Right, so before takeoff checklist, transponder TRA is set, LNAV is set, weather radar is on, landing lights are on, strobe lights
approaching
are
28
set as well. Cockpit light is off. My god, there is literally zero visibility. It's insane.
Louis 310 correction, Louis 310 Echo, contact departure 118.0, bye-bye.
118.0.
180, advice 310 Echo, bye-bye.
There we go, now I can turn.
Easy 627, welcome to Zurich, contact apron 121.750, bye-bye. Apron 121.750, bye-bye, 627.
on runway 28.
Oops, that was terrible. I'm not straight at all. So now I'm just waiting for him to allow me to take off.
French post 27, Mike November, wind calm, runway 28, clear for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, French post 27, Mike November. So cleared for takeoff, lights are on, elapsed timer is on.
Tower, good evening, Lufthansa 7, taxiway
Engines 40%. Engine stabilized.
Lufthansa 742, hello, line up and wait, runway 28.
Lining up and wait, wait to play.
Okay guys, off we go. Maintaining center line.
knots.
Release pressure.
V1, rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up. And I've just lost the connection because
400.
my computer isn't liking this.
$1,000.
Range fast 27, Mike, November, contact departure 118.0, bye-bye.
Contact departures 118.0, bye-bye, pinch post 27 Mike November.
Speedbird 14 Romeo, turn left heading 330, descent 6,000 feet, QNH 1028.
Retracting the flaps. Departure is very good, more evening, pinch post 37 Mike November, passing 4,000 feet, so Vegas 2 Whiskey departure. Retracting the
Range
flaps
post
and
27 Mike November, Zurich, departure cleared to identified, climb flight level 90.
Continuing climb flight level 90,
Thousand
pinch
to
post
go.
27 Mike November. So 90. Reset, gear down, auto brakes off, lights off.
Edelweiss 310 Echo, climb flight level.
Oh my god, my computer doesn't accept to do the stream and the flight.
Swiss radar 128.050.
128.050, 310 Echo, choose.
Speedbird 14 Romeo, contact final 125.325, call sign only, have a nice landing, bye-bye.
Okie dokie, so after takeoff checklist, landing gear is down and locked, taxi lights they are off.
Swiss 1740, descent 6,000 feet, QNH 1028.
Descent 6,000 feet, QNH 1028, Swiss
Is
174.
all looking as required, and the altimeter being reset. The after takeoff checklist is complete.
Range post 27 Mike November, turn left direct Vegas.
Turn left, direct where? Sorry, I didn't pinch post 27 Mike November. Fuck. Sorry about that, could you confirm the direct to pinch post 27 Mike November?
Range post 27 Mike November, direct Vegas.
Direct Vegas, Delta Echo Golf Echo Sierra, pinch post 27 Mike November.
1,000 to go.
I've got an Avic, Topo 294, passing level 158 for 130, King Air 315 for Echo.
Topo 294 Zurich, arrival Grazie, turn left heading 280.
Left heading 280, Topo 294.
Swiss 174, turn left heading 310.
Left heading 310, Swiss 174.
Swiss 925, turn right heading 130, descent flight level 80.
Right heading 130, descent level 80.
French.
Okay, det var som en tailstream back in on
Swiss 174, speed 210 knots.
Okej, ci vediamo dopo.
Speed 210 knots, Swiss 174.
French post 27 Mike November, contact Swiss radar 133.9, have a nice flight away.
Contact radar 133.9 and thank you and sorry about that, French post 27 Mike November. 133.9.
Arrival on 135.225, and exit.